what we're going to do is we're going to machine out this counterbore. To do that, we're going to go in with a 1/4 inch end mill. So we're going to go to 2D. We're going to do a 2D. We're going to do a pocket. We're going to pick on our hole feature. We're going to select from our tool library the 1/4 inch end mill. We're going to select our pocket. We're going to go to heights. Okay, we've already milled the top down by 40 thousandths, so we're going to go from model top now instead of stock. Okay, we're going to cut right to the selected contour. We're going to go to the heights. And we're going to go ahead and do multiple depths. Our maximum step down is going to be 0.125, about half the diameter of the cutter. We'll do one finishing step down, and we'll do 0.01, 10 thousandths for that. We're going to use even step downs. Our maximum finish step over, 80% of the cutter would be 200 thousandths. We're just going to stick with the 150 there. Now we're going to do finish passes. We're going to do wear compensation. This smoothing deviation on that should be 4/10. We're going to do one finishing pass. The step over is going to be 0.01. We're going to do lead-ins on those finishes. We're not going to repeat the finish pass. We're not going to leave stock. We're cutting right to it. We are going to turn on smoothing. And I guess suppose we could turn on feed optimization, but I don't think it'll do much. Yeah, scroll back up. Let's see if we can use morph spiral. May not make a difference on that small a pocket. Finish at final depth. Do 0.125 on our maximum step over. See if that yields a better. Now let's go to the linking tab. We're going to keep the tool down. We're going to do lead ins and lead outs. 90 degrees is fine. No vertical lead in radius. Our ramp type is currently helix. That's fine for a round shape. Let's do 50 thousandths on the ramp clearance. Our helical ramp diameter is probably too big, so let's do 0.1. Yeah, let's hit OK. Alright, that's done. Okay, this is a 1/4 inch radius, so if we use a 1/2 inch ball cutter, it can cut that surface in a couple passes, although we don't want to go right to roughing it. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a 2D trace and 1/2 inch ball cutter from our library, tool number 5, and what we're going to do is we're going to trace this one profile here. So we're going to go to geometry, we're going to select the open contour, an open chain. We're doing an extension of 0.6, which is, I'm sorry, 0.3, which is half the diameter of the cutter, so that we're starting off the workpiece. Okay, we're going to hit OK. We're going to go to heights. We're going to go from model top, and our feed height's going to be model top. We're going on center. We're going to leave all that the same. Maximum angle 90. It has an up or down direction. We'll have to play with that. We're going to go to multiple depths. Our maximum step down. 2 of them. We're going to leave some stock. We're not going to leave anything radially, but axial. We're going to leave 0.01. We'll go ahead and put on smoothing because it is a contour move. We're going to go to linking tab. We're going to lead in. We're going to lead out. We're not going to do anything vertical. And we're going to keep the tool down. Is it okay? See what we get. Okay, so there's our 2 roughing passes. It looks like our first cut is actually in error, so we're going to go back and adjust that. Now we're just doing 1 step down, and then it's going to leave a rough cut there. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to copy this trace, we're going to duplicate it, and this is going to be our finishing cut. So we're going to go to geometry, we're going to leave that the same, height is going to be the same, but on passes we're not going to do multiple depths, and we're going to get rid of the stock to leave, and it'll skim off 10 thousandths off this entire face. And we'll hit OK. Alright, so we really get 3 passes, but the last one is just skimming a little bit of material off. We're going to rough around the outside of this. So we'll see if we can use the 1/4 inch cutter for that. Okay, on the exterior round, we're going to do a 3D contour move. Okay, and it's a little tricky to contain this, but first we're going to do roughing, and so we're going to select the 1/4 inch ball from our library. Okay, and we're going to take the default feeds and speeds for the roughing, and we're going to go to geometry, and what we're going to do is we're not taking silhouette. We don't want to machine the entire thing in one command. What we're going to do is we're going to switch this to selection, which will allow us to select a boundary, and what we want to cut is just this fillet. Okay, the way the software works, it's going to want to try to cut everything if it can. Okay, so we're going to go from selection, and we're going to go from a chain, and we're going to go to an open chain so that we can select what that chain looks like. So let's start here, and we're going to wrap around the outside edge of the part, up over the end, around, and it won't let you select the last one as an open chain, so you just have to flip it the chain and it'll close it out. You want to make sure the arrow is on the outside. Interesting. We want the arrow on the inside of our boundary, as I have it shown. And hit OK. Okay, so the green arrow is our green line is our boundary, and there are a few things we want to avoid. We want to avoid some surfaces. So also we want to set our tool containment. So right now the tool will go to center line. We actually want it to go to outside the boundary so that the tool radius will go all the way over to this edge. And then we want to pick this contact point boundary. And if you look at this, if it's disabled, we're not going to get past tangency on where it rolls over to vertical. It'll leave a scallop around the outside edge. So we want to select that. Okay, we're going to go to the next step. We're going to go to selecting what we want to avoid. So right now it's going to cut the model. We want to add an avoidance area. So we're going to avoid this area, and we're going to put in a radial clearance of a real small number, thousandth. Otherwise it'll try to trace over it. And we're going to select the end. And another area we want to select is this top surface here. And we want to select this pocket area. And we want to select the fillet and the counterbore. I don't think we need to get the hole. It'll avoid that. Okay, we're going to hit OK. So the red areas it's going to avoid. Then we're going to go to the next tab, and it's heights. We're going to go from model top and model top. We don't want to go to model bottom. What we want to do is we want to go to selection, and we don't really want to go much deeper than this edge here, but we want to have it go past tangency for the diameter cutter we're using. So that means you need to go 1 radius plus past, so that the ball cutter will go past, but not go any deeper than that. So what we want to do is we want to put it's an 1/8 inch, it's a 1/4 inch cutter, and the nominal diameter is 0.125 for the radius. We're going to put 0.13, just a little bit deeper, and that'll keep it from machining all the way down the sides of these, all the way to the base, the area that's already milled off. This box here needs to be negative 130 thousandths. We go to passes. Our maximum step down on the roughing, we're going to leave these things at default here, except for we're going to go both ways. We don't want to just climb cut. Our maximum step down of 40 thousandths is fine. We're going to go ahead and check order by depth. I don't know if it's going to matter. And we're going to do stock to leave, and we're going to leave 10 thousandths on all surfaces. And we're going to turn on smoothing, and it'll give us a better tolerance. Now we go to the linking tab, and we're going to leave pretty much all this at default, but we are going to change this from helix to just a straight plunge. For ball cutters, it's the helix isn't going to do us anything. All right, we're going to hit OK, and we're going to see what we get. Okay, so our cutter wraps around the edges, leaving about 10 thousandths on the surface. Okay, so what we can do next is we're going to label this roughing. And then we right click on this, and we're going to duplicate that same toolpath. And what we're going to do is we're going to bump up our RPM to 7,000 so that we can go faster. We're going to go for our finish cut. We don't want to take forever to machine this, so we're going to go about double. I don't know why our lead-in feed rate is higher than our regular feed rate, but we're going to go 45 inches a minute. We'll leave everything else the way it is. Okay, and then our geometry, there's nothing that changed there. On heights, there's nothing that changed there. On passes, we are going to change some things. We're going to go to 10 thousandths steps. Okay, and we are going to remove the stock to leave. And then we'll go to linking tab, and we're going to leave all this at default, and we'll hit OK. And now we get a finishing passes that are closer to the profile of the part. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to finish out this hole. So we already cut a counterbore there. Now we're going to go in and center drill the bottom of this, and it's a 1/4 inch hole. We've got a little bit of lead-in chamfer here, so we're going to go to drilling, and we're going to pick on our spot drill. So our 3/8 spot drill, and we're going to keep all this at default. Our geometry is going to be the countersink that's on there, and that's it. And our heights, we're going to be going from model top Okay, our feed height is going to be at whole top, and our bottom is going to be at whole bottom. Okay, and we're going to go to the next one. We are going to do a deep drilling cycle, and we're going to forego the dwell on this, but at least it'll peck and clear the chip out of that hole there. And then we don't have to set anything on linking. We'll hit OK. Okay, so we should get a nice countersink in there. Now we're going to go in there. We have a 251 reamed hole we're going to put in this. So first we need to go and drill with, and we're going to select tool number, I believe it's 9. It's our letter D drill. I'll select that. Keep the default settings on that. Our geometry is going to be the chamfer at the top, the hole all the way through, and we want to get the chamfer at the bottom so that we're going all the way through the part. And we're going to go to heights. Again, we're going to go to model top. It's going to go from whole top to whole bottom. We're going to have the tip bust through, and we're going to go an extra 0.1 so that we're going all the way through the part for sure. We're going to do a deep drilling cycle with full retract. We're going to keep that all at default. We'll hit OK. Okay, so now we have our 246 hole going not all the way through because we got a lot of stock on the edge, but we want to make sure that we don't ram our reamer down into the bottom of that. So we want to go a little bit shallower with the reamer. Okay, so now we're going to go in with our reamer, go to drilling cycle. We're going to select the reamer, and you should have made this on another assignment, but we want to use the 251 reamer. We're going to select that, and we're going to take all the default settings. We're going to go to geometry. We're going to select the chamfer of the hole and the chamfer on the other side. We're going to go to the next tab. Again, we're going to go from model top. We're going to go from whole top to whole bottom. We do want to go deeper. We're going to go deeper by negative 0.09. So not quite as deep as we went with the drill, just to make sure we don't bottom out. We're going to use a reaming cycle, and then we're going to go to this and just leave that at default. And our reamer should go in and make that a nice tight tolerance hole for our shoulder bolt. Okay, next thing. That is pretty much it for this side, except for the chamfer on this side. So we're going to go 2D. We're going to do a 2D chamfer. Okay, so we're going to go select. We're going to pick from our library the 1/4 inch 90-degree blunt chamfer mill. We're going to select that. We're going to keep the default settings on feeds and speeds. We're going to go to geometry. Bottom. We're going to go from model top on both of them. We're going to leave, in this case, we're just going to leave cutter comp and computer. Our chamfer width, we're going to leave it at 0 because it is modeled, but we do want to change our chamfer offset to be bigger than what we've got there. Hopefully it'll keep us from breaking tips. And the chamfer clamp shouldn't come into play here. We'll go ahead and turn on smoothing. We're going to go to the linking tab. We're going to leave all this at default unless we have an issue with the lead-in being too short. Then we're going to select OK.